The night I walked into my house and saw my husband holding the woman I trusted more than anyone. My heart didn't break because he cheated. It broke because I realized the two people I loved most had been lying to me for months. But what they didn't know was that I was carrying a secret that would change all of our lives forever. A secret that would make my husband beg for a second chance. Years after I disappeared. My name is Emma Carter, and 3 years ago, I believed I had the perfect life. I had a loving husband, a beautiful home, and a best friend who had been beside me since childhood. My husband, Daniel, was the kind of man everyone admired. He was successful, charming, and always knew exactly what to say. And my best friend, Sophia, was like a sister to me. She was the first person I called when I got engaged. The first person who cried with me when I walked down the aisle. I never imagined that the two people I trusted the most would become the reason my entire world would collapse. The strange thing was, the signs were there. Daniel started coming home late more often. Sophia suddenly became too busy to meet me. Whenever I entered a room, their conversations would stop. But I convinced myself I was imagining things. Because sometimes when you love someone, your heart protects them before your mind accepts the truth. Until that night. It was our anniversary. Daniel had promised me a romantic dinner, but at the last moment, he said he had an important business meeting. I felt disappointed, but I didn't question him. Instead, I decided to surprise him. I bought his favorite dessert and drove home early. But when I opened the front door, I heard laughter. A laugh I knew better than anyone. Sophia's laugh. My hands became cold. I slowly walked toward the bedroom. The door wasn't fully closed. And through that small opening, I saw something that changed my life forever. Daniel, my husband, the man who promised me forever. And Sophia, my best friend, together. For a few seconds, I couldn't breathe. I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask why. But then Sophia looked toward the door. She saw me. And instead of looking ashamed, she smiled. That smile told me everything. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a mistake. She wanted me to know. I quietly stepped back. No tears, no screaming. Because sometimes pain is so deep that your body doesn't know how to react. I walked into our bedroom. I took off my wedding ring. And I placed it on the table beside a small note. Only 2 words. I know. Then I left. Daniel didn't realize I was gone until the next morning. When he saw the ring, his face changed. He picked up the note. I know. Only 2 words. But they destroyed him. He called me. Again and again. But I didn't answer. Because there was something Daniel didn't know. Something I had discovered only 2 days before. I was pregnant. I was carrying his child. 5 years passed. 5 years since I walked away from the life I thought I would have forever. I changed my name. I moved to a small coastal town far away from the city, where every street reminded me of Daniel. I didn't leave because I stopped loving him. That was the hardest part. I left because I loved him so much that staying would have destroyed me. My son Noah was 5 years old now, and every time I looked at him, I saw a piece of Daniel. His eyes, his smile, the little habit of tilting his head when he was thinking. Sometimes it hurt. Sometimes it healed me. Noah was the reason I kept going. I worked 2 jobs. I learned how to fix things myself. I became stronger than I ever thought I could be. But there was one thing I never did. I never told Daniel about his son. People asked me why. Why would I keep a father away from his child? The answer was complicated. Because I didn't know if I was protecting Noah from losing a father, or protecting myself from being hurt again. Meanwhile, Daniel Carter's life had fallen apart. After I disappeared, he finally understood what he had lost. At first, he thought I was angry. He thought I would come back after a few days. Then weeks passed. Then months, and I never returned. He searched everywhere. He called my family. He hired investigators. He checked every place we had ever visited together. But I had disappeared completely. And the worst part? He knew exactly why. Because every night, when he closed his eyes, he remembered the look on my face when I saw him. Not anger, not hatred, just disappointment. The look of someone who realized the person they loved was not who they thought they were. Sophia stayed in Daniel's life for a while. She believed she had won. She thought once Emma was gone, Daniel would choose her. But she was wrong. Because Daniel never loved Sophia. Not even for a second. One night, Sophia finally asked the question she had been afraid to ask. Why do you still look for her? Daniel looked at her coldly. Because Emma was my wife. Sophia's face changed. But I'm here. Daniel shook his head. No, Sophia. You are the reason she isn't. Those words destroyed the fantasy she had built. She realized something painful. She hadn't stolen Daniel. She had only destroyed a marriage that he would spend the rest of his life trying to repair. 5 years later, Daniel received a strange message. A picture. Nothing else. Just a picture of a little boy standing near the beach. A little boy with Daniel's eyes. His heart stopped. He stared at the image for several minutes. Then he looked at the message underneath. Some secrets cannot stay hidden forever. Daniel immediately contacted the private investigator, who had helped him search for me. 3 days later, he received the information. My new location, my new life, and the truth. A son. His son. When Daniel arrived in my town, he didn't come with anger. He didn't come demanding answers. He simply stood across the street and watched. He saw me walking with Noah. He saw the way Noah held my hand, the way he laughed, the way he looked happy. And for the first time in 5 years, Daniel cried, because he realized he hadn't only lost his wife. He had lost 5 years with his child, 5 birthdays, 5 Christmas mornings, 5 years of bedtime stories and first steps, 5 years he could never get back. That evening, there was a knock on my door. I knew before opening it. Somehow my heart knew. When I saw Daniel standing there, everything inside me froze. He looked older, tired, broken. Emma. Hearing my name from his voice almost destroyed me. I held the door tightly. What are you doing here? His eyes moved past me. To Noah, the little boy sitting on the floor playing with his toys. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. Is he mine? I didn't answer. I didn't have to. The silence said everything. Daniel covered his mouth. A sound escaped him. A mixture of pain and disbelief. I have a son. I looked away. You had a son 5 years ago. Those words hurt him more than anything. I didn't know. No, I replied quietly. You didn't. Daniel stepped closer but stopped. He didn't try to touch me. He didn't try to force his way back into my life. For the first time, he understood that he had no right. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. His voice broke. I know I don't deserve another chance. He looked at Noah. But I want the chance to be his father. I wanted to hate him. I tried, but seeing him standing there, seeing the pain in his eyes, I remembered the man I once loved. Not the man who betrayed me, the man before that. But before I could answer, another person entered my life again. Sophia. And she wasn't coming to apologize. She was coming because the secret she had hidden for 5 years was finally about to come out. I never expected to see Sophia again. For 5 years, I had tried to erase her from my memory. Not because I hated her, because remembering her meant remembering the night that destroyed my entire world. But when she appeared outside my house, older and more nervous than I remembered, I knew something was wrong. She looked at Daniel first, then at me. And for the first time in years, she looked afraid. Emma, we need to talk. I almost laughed. Talk? After 5 years? After she took away the life I had built? After she watched me walk away broken? What could you possibly say that would change anything? Sophia lowered her eyes. I know you hate me. I stayed silent. But you don't know the whole truth. Daniel's expression changed. What are you talking about? Sophia took a deep breath. The night you saw us? It wasn't what you think. My heart tightened. Because I had spent 5 years believing I knew exactly what happened. What does that mean? Sophia looked at Daniel. I lied to both of you. 5 years earlier, Sophia had been struggling. Her life was falling apart. Her career was failing. Her relationship had ended, and she became obsessed with the life I had. My husband, my home, my happiness. She didn't want Daniel because she loved him. She wanted him because he represented everything she thought she deserved. I was jealous of you, Emma. Her voice trembled. You had everything I wanted. I shook my head. No, I had someone I trusted. Tears filled her eyes. And I destroyed that. Sophia admitted that she had planned everything. The late-night messages, the fake emergencies, the moments she created alone with Daniel. But there was something even worse. The night I walked in, Daniel was drunk. He barely remembered what happened. Sophia had taken advantage of the situation. She wanted me to see. She wanted me to leave. Because she believed once I was gone, Daniel would eventually choose her. But she was wrong. Daniel looked at her with disgust. You ruined my marriage because you wanted my life? Sophia cried. I thought I could make you love me. Daniel's voice was cold. You can't force someone to love you by destroying the person they love. I wanted to feel satisfaction. I wanted to feel like the truth had finally healed me. But it didn't. Because the truth didn't erase the pain. It didn't give me back 5 years. It didn't return all the nights I cried alone. It didn't give Noah back the father he should have known. I looked at Daniel. He looked at me. And for the first time, we both understood something. We were both victims of that night. But I still couldn't forget one thing. He was the one who made the mistake. Even if Sophia planned it. Even if she manipulated him, Daniel had still broken the promise he made to me. I need time. Those were the only words I could say. Daniel nodded slowly. I understand. You don't get to come back and fix everything in one day. I know. You missed his first steps. His eyes filled with regret. I know. You missed his first words. I know. You missed 5 years. His voice cracked. I know, Emma. And that was the first time I saw something different in him. Not excuses. Not anger. Not pride. Just regret. The next morning, Daniel came back. But this time, he didn't come for me. He came for Noah. He sat on the floor and played with him. He listened to every little story Noah wanted to tell. He learned his favorite food, his favorite cartoon, his favorite toy. He didn't act like a powerful businessman. He acted like a father who was trying to catch up on 5 lost years. And slowly, Noah started trusting him. One evening, Noah looked at me and asked, Mama, is Daniel my daddy? My heart stopped. I looked at Daniel. He looked terrified, waiting for my answer. I knelt beside Noah. Yes, sweetheart. Noah smiled. I knew it. I laughed softly. How? He shrugged. Because he looks at me the same way you do. Those words broke something inside both of us. Weeks passed. Daniel never pressured me. He never asked me to forget. He never demanded forgiveness. He simply showed up, every day. He helped Noah with homework. He took him to the park. He learned what kind of father he wanted to become. And one night, while Noah was sleeping, Daniel and I sat outside. I don't expect you to love me again. I looked at him. Good. He smiled sadly. But I hope one day you see that I'm trying. I looked at the man sitting in front of me. The man who broke my heart. The man who was also trying to rebuild it. I don't know if I can forgive you. He nodded. But I know I don't hate you anymore. For Daniel, that was enough. But neither of us knew that someone else was watching. Someone who didn't want Daniel and me to become a family again. Someone who believed if she couldn't have Daniel, no one would. And that person was closer than we thought. I thought the hardest part of my journey was forgiving Daniel. I was wrong. The hardest part was learning that even after 5 years, some people never change. Sophia disappeared after revealing the truth. At least that's what we thought. Daniel wanted to make sure she couldn't hurt us again, but I didn't want revenge. I had spent 5 years rebuilding my life. I didn't want to waste another moment thinking about her. I just wanted peace, a normal life, a life where my son could wake up every morning without feeling the pain of the past. But peace doesn't always come when you want it. Sometimes it has to be protected. 3 months after Daniel came back into our lives, something strange happened. Noah started receiving gifts. At first, I thought they were from Daniel. A new toy, a book, a little wooden airplane. But Daniel looked confused when I asked him. I didn't send those. My stomach tightened. Then who did? Neither of us had an answer. Until one day, a small envelope arrived. Inside was a photograph. A picture of me, Daniel, and Noah, taken from a distance. On the back, there were only 4 words. You took everything from me. Daniel's expression changed when he saw it. The warmth disappeared from his eyes. The protective side of him came back. Emma, you need to listen to me. I felt my heart race. What is it? You and Noah can't stay here. I stepped back. Are you saying we have to run again? His face softened. No. He came closer. I'm saying this time we don't run. That evening, Daniel finally told me something he had hidden. After Sophia disappeared, she had become obsessed. She blamed me. She blamed him. She believed I had stolen her chance at happiness. Why didn't you tell me this before? Daniel looked down. Because I wanted to protect you from my past. I shook my head. Daniel, your past already found us. He had no answer. Because I was right. The next day, Daniel took me and Noah to his office. Not the cold, intimidating place I imagined. A place where he had spent years building his empire. But instead of showing me power, he showed me change. I've been trying to leave this life behind. I looked at him. What life? He was quiet for a moment. The life where people solve problems with fear. I studied his face. You think you can just walk away? No. His answer surprised me. Not completely. But I can choose what kind of man I become. Then he looked toward Noah. I don't want my son growing up knowing his father was someone people feared. For the first time, I saw something I never expected. Daniel wasn't trying to get his old life back. He was trying to become someone better. That night, something happened that changed everything. I woke up because I heard a noise downstairs. At first, I thought it was Daniel. But then I heard a woman's voice. A voice I knew too well. Sophia. My heart stopped. I slowly walked toward the stairs. And there she was, standing in my house, looking at the pictures of my family. You really got everything, didn't you? Her voice was filled with anger. Sophia. She turned around. For a moment, I saw the woman who used to be my best friend. Then I saw someone I didn't recognize. You always had everything, Emma. I shook my head. No, I lost everything because of you. She laughed bitterly. You think Daniel loves you because you won? I said nothing. He only feels guilty. Those words hurt because they touched the fear I never admitted. What if she was right? What if Daniel was only here because of regret? Then Daniel appeared behind me. His voice was calm, but she's wrong. Sophia froze. Daniel walked toward us. I am here because I love Emma. Sophia stared at him. After everything? Because of everything. He looked at her with disappointment. You taught me what losing the person you love feels like. Then he looked at me. And Emma taught me what it means to deserve someone. Sophia's anger turned into desperation. You can't leave me with nothing. Daniel shook his head. You were never supposed to have what belonged to someone else. The police arrived minutes later. Sophia had broken into our home and had been sending threatening messages. As she was taken away, she looked at me. For a second, I saw regret. Real regret. But it was too late. Some mistakes destroy things that cannot be repaired. Weeks later, life finally became peaceful. Not perfect, because perfect doesn't exist, but peaceful. Daniel was there every morning. He made breakfast with Noah. He helped with homework. He listened when I spoke. And most importantly, he stopped asking me to forget. He understood that forgiveness wasn't about pretending nothing happened. It was about choosing not to let the past control our future. One evening, Daniel found me sitting outside watching Noah play. He sat beside me. Do you ever regret leaving? I thought about the question. 5 years ago, I would have said yes. But now, no. He looked surprised. I don't regret leaving because leaving saved me. I took his hand. But I also don't regret coming back. Daniel smiled. A real smile. The same one I fell in love with years ago. A year later, Daniel stood in front of me holding a small box. Inside was a ring. Not the old ring. Not the symbol of the life we lost. A new beginning. I know I already promised you forever once. His voice shook. But this time I want to earn it every single day. I looked at Noah standing behind him, smiling. My little family. The family I thought I lost forever. I smiled through tears. Yes. And for the first time in years, I wasn't choosing between my past and my future. I was finally choosing happiness.